Today we're going to show you how easy it is to put on the torsion mount system on your turbo or Terra-Max. So there are right and lefts on a Terra-Max as far as the mounts, and then there's going to be all right hand on the Turbo-Max. And if you have chopper reels back here, then they're going to be straight. So the first thing I like to do is I want to set this unit down, and I want to try to get this system to come back at the same angle that the new piece is going to be. So we've got it sitting on the ground, and you can see we're fairly close to the right angle. And that's just going to make it easier to assemble it. The next thing we're going to note is the bottom side has the notches out of it, okay? Now, when we're going to take this apart, and once we've taken it apart, I'm going to pre-fit the U-bolts in the old holes, because you're going to reuse the U-bolts. So if any are stretched, we're going to have to resize them in a vise or with a hammer to make sure they slide in easy. It's just going to make your life a lot easier when you reassemble. We're also going to do these one at a time, so we're going to allow the machine to hold up the piece for us. So let's go ahead and start by removing this outer mount. Now the one thing you're going to note is I'm using an impact, and it's got a swivel socket on it, which you're going to have a 15/16 swivel socket, or you're going to use an end wrench in all of them. Now the one back bolt over here is going to be awfully hard to get in this socket, so you're probably going to use an end wrench on that one. Now, once we get everybody loosened, then we'll go ahead and drop this mount out. So that's our last bolt. So a lot of times when you're doing something like this, they came off pretty easy, but we may need a hammer to push it up a little bit, and then we can use a pry bar underneath the U-bolt to pull them out. But at this point, we're having pretty good success in just pulling them out. Now we're actually ready to reassemble. Okay, so first thing we need to do is set our mount on here, and we can take and put on one of the U-bolts here, like say this front one, and just put it on, all assemble it loose. Now, you're going to see the marks from where it was mounted before, and if you look at your Turbo or Terra-Max manual, they're going to give you some dimensions of where this gang needs to be running as far as front to back on this beam. Just follow those dimensions and everything ought to turn out just fine. Now, once we have it rough hung, now we need to check and make sure that we have the correct angle. Now, we'll use our guide on how far back that is. If we look at this U-bolt system up here, we're going to notice where the old marks are. Another way to look at it is that needs to end up evenly where they were, and that should give you the same angle. So we'll want to retorque this, then we'll move on to the next one. So that's how easy it is to replace a mount on one of these Turbo or Terra-Maxes.